When you have wake time correct, then baby takes really great naps, a solid nap, falls asleep easily without much crying, if any at all, and baby will wake up from naps happily and content. Your baby will also be content and happy throughout playtime rather than fussy. So I'm sure that all sounds ideal to you and fantastic, and if your baby isn't quite there, you're wondering, okay, my baby isn't doing those things, so what do I need to do about it? The answer is you need to get that wake time down correct, but what people wonder is, so do I add time to the wake time length or do I take away time from the wake time length? We will cover all of that in this video. Before I jump in, hello, my name is Valerie. I blog at babywisemom.com and have been blogging there since the year 2007, and I love helping parents love being parents. I currently have 4 children ranging in age from 9 to 16 years old. And before we dive in, be sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel. First, let's talk about the signs that your baby is overly tired. More often than not, you're going to find that your baby is too tired and needs less wake time length, especially because most people think erroneously that if they keep their baby up longer, then baby will sleep better for naps and for nighttime. But that's not true. Sleep begets sleep. That means that sleep helps your baby sleep better. If you deprive your baby of sleep, then cortisol builds up in the body and your baby has a hard time settling down and sleeping well. So if your baby is overly tired, you will find that your baby cries a lot, and that your baby is hard to calm down. So your baby may be crying during playtime and you really struggle getting your baby to soothe and calm down and stop crying. You will also find that your baby takes short naps and takes short naps consistently. Every baby, even with perfect wake time length, has that every once in a while short nap or short naps caused by some sleep regression or a wonder week. But we're talking about short naps are always present and the long nap is the rare exception. You might also find that your baby is waking up early in the morning, waking up before that ideal wake time. Your baby will also be discontent during playtime and maybe not crying like I discussed a little bit ago, but just fussy and just seems like she is not interested in playing or doing anything and just can't be satisfied. Your baby will also probably cry a lot when going down for a nap. Some babies cry no matter what. Some babies will cry for a few minutes, even if wake time length is perfect. That happens. But most babies will not cry once wake time length is correct and once your baby is capable of falling asleep without help. And most babies, even if they do cry a little bit, it'll only be for a few minutes, but not hard, loud, very upset crying. So all in all, a baby that is overly tired just doesn't sleep well. I do want to note that having a fussy baby in the evening can be very normal, especially for the newborn months. This is called witching hour, and I have a video and a blog post all about it. So if you have a baby who's content all day long but super fussy in the evening, be sure to check that out. Okay, next, the signs that your baby is not tired enough and needs longer wake time length. A lot of these you will find are actually very similar to the overly tired baby, so that's why people often get confused. So let's talk about the signs for a baby who is not tired enough. One is that your baby will probably take a long time to fall asleep. The difference here with a baby who is overly tired is that the undertired baby will probably go down for a nap and just play around in the crib and take a long time to fall asleep, but isn't crying the whole time. So your baby will just be extending playtime in the crib rather than going to sleep. Your baby might start crying after playing for a little while because your baby will have played and then be like, why am I just still sitting here? Like, move me around, do something with me. A baby who isn't tired enough also will take short naps. That can be either because wake time length wasn't just right, so baby played too long in the crib and then was up too long really before falling asleep. Or sometimes baby will actually just fall right asleep, but then wake up early because baby wasn't actually tired enough for a full nap yet. You also might find that your baby is waking early in the morning. So here are some clues for you to be able to decipher if your baby is overly tired or undertired, because the signs are very similar. One is to look at your baby's disposition. An overly tired baby will be fussy a lot. A baby who just wasn't tired enough will typically be pretty pleasant. Another thing to do is to look at what has changed or what needs to change. So if your baby has been taking great naps and then has stopped and is going down for a nap and either falling asleep right away but then waking up early, or playing for a while before falling asleep, then that's a great sign that your baby is ready for a little bit longer of a wake time length. If your baby's always taken short naps, then it's harder to decipher because you're trying to get on track. But in general, look at, has anything changed in the schedule? Have I started keeping baby up longer than I used to? And then maybe baby just isn't ready for that yet. So what did you change? And if it was nothing, then what should change? And when you're considering this, make sure you look back at least 2 weeks, because it can take 2 weeks before a change in the schedule can negatively affect the baby if the baby was not quite ready for it. You also want to look at sleep patterns. So what happens at nap time? Overly tired baby will probably cry right away and cry very hard, where an under-tired baby will be content in the crib initially, maybe just be a little bit fussy, especially if your baby isn't accustomed to playing alone and isn't able to be alone contently. Then your baby might still be a little fussy, but not necessarily blowing off that steam like you see in a baby who's too tired. If wake time length is correct, then your baby should fall asleep within 5 to 20 minutes of going down. That will vary from baby to baby. You want to make sure you take notes and are aware of what is normal for your baby, looking at those patterns. My baby basically always falls asleep within 7 minutes. So if baby's still awake 20 minutes, then I can pretty much guess something is off. So be aware of what is normal for your baby so that you are aware when something is abnormal. It is important to note that when I'm giving these general rules, they typically apply to 3 months and older, because a newborn baby often will cry even if wake time length is perfect, or a newborn baby might vary a lot more on how long it takes to fall asleep. If you feel like something is off, you can tell wake time isn't quite right, but you're really still not sure, be sure to check out my free worksheet. I have it for you when you sign up for my email list. You get a free worksheet that walks you through how to tell if your baby needs more wake time or less wake time and how to get that perfect. Also, when you sign up for that free worksheet, you get my free email series that takes you through perfecting wake time length. And another great tool for you is my book of logs. You can purchase that on my blog. It is what I used for all of my babies. I started with my first, and I tweaked it and perfected it over all of the babies, and I really credit it for how I was able to have my babies all sleep well. It just really helped me track everything and to see patterns and to see when things were different. I often would think, oh, this has been happening all the time for the last 2 weeks. And then when I looked at my notes, I realized, oh, nope, it hasn't. It's been 2 days. So sometimes our minds just, when we're tired and exhausted, we just change the reality in our heads. So keeping notes really helps to make sure you get things down and get them correct. Okay, that wraps up how to tell if your baby is overtired or undertired. It is simpler than it seems. Always remember that what you are doing is you are making an educated guess and acting on it. And as you act on it, if you're wrong, you just take a step back, go back to what you were before, and a tweak from there. It's perfectly normal to make mistakes and guess wrong, so don't feel bad if you do. If you are adding wake time length to your baby's wake time, I always recommend doing 5 minutes at a time until you find that correct time, because sometimes all baby needs is 5 minutes. If you think about it, 5 minutes is a big chunk of time percentage-wise in comparison to 60 minutes. So if baby was 60 minutes and you add 5, then you're at 65. That's a pretty big chunk. We don't need to add 30 minutes all of a sudden. If you have any questions, be sure to read my blog post about this topic. It goes into even more depth about it. And you can always ask questions in the comments. Thanks and have a great day.